Her Opinion Show, the podcast you didn't know you needed. Real talk, bold truth, her voice, her vision, her rules. Let's get into it.
So this week, we are serving up a hot dish of media strategy with PR powerhouse Sherrie Handrinos. Oh, sorry, I said it a little bit.
We said
Latino.
it. We had it.
Handrinos.
It's
Okay.
It's all good.
All right.
Handrinos.
Handrinos.
How do you
love
say
it.
Handrinos. Handrinos.
Okay.
Okay. We just put too much into it.
I know. I
I feel
try
like
to
you
make
made it sound better than it is,
Okay.
so we can roll with it.
Handrinos.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds so much
Okay,
better.
we just turned you Latin, okay?
Exactly.
Sometimes people don't know what I am anyways.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
Whatever
the
you
black,
want.
nice, beautiful hairs.
Thank
must be
you.
it.
We match.
Yes, we do. Oh,
So.
on set.
We cannot wait to hear what you have to say. I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen it all.
I think I have.
Well, listen, in PR, you just never know. You got to clean up messes.
That's why I said
You got to make people look good.
At any time of day or night.
Exactly.
See? Okay, so it's going to get juicy. So I met you because we were at an event, but also I know because I've seen you do PR for a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
And I do restaurant blogging and stuff like that.
Yes.
We haven't crossed paths, but I've seen you at Nightcap, I think,
Yep.
Fox 26.
At Fox, yeah,
Yes.
a couple times.
So we met there.
And then we crossed paths again, which
Oh, at the other event.
yeah,
Yeah.
the other event that we were at Shelena's
Yes.
event.
Yes.
And so that's when whenever we thought we need to have her on.
Oh, I
And
love
always
that.
amazing to see women doing their things, doing their thing, get recognized.
Yeah.
It's
I think
always,
that's cool,
yeah,
too.
it's super cool.
And I love that you had like a little posse with you when you
Oh, it was
a
like
little
my
team.
client.
Yes, it was
client.
your
Some of my
client.
sister
Yeah.
clients.
I love that.
Friends, you know, I've made some amazing relationships with clients because PR is relationships, but authentic relationships too.
And when
are
you
very
do good
important.
service,
yeah, it matters.
they become your friends.
Yeah,
But when
you're
you were
right.
talking on the stage, I mean, everybody was like clapping for you and cheering you on. So you must be doing something right.
Oh, thank you. We try. I take a lot of pride in what we do. I started this company when I was 23 years old, right out of college, and didn't know much. You know, I always said I faked it till I made it, which is true. Fake it till you make it. But I did go to school for marketing and business management. So I did do that.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel like what you do now, or even when you first started, any of what you learned at school help with that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I do. But I also believe I was very active at school. Like I worked with Nike, I cheered, I did. I was in Delta. I'm a Delta Zeta. I was in sorority. So also I believe that it's multiple aspects to college and the whole experience that,
for sure.
that molds you.
Yes.
You know, so I'm a big advocate for that. You know, my brother, he and I are very different. He's very quiet. He owns a large company. He just wasn't the college guy. But I was always like, let me go to school. Let me go be in a sorority. Like that was my vision for myself. So
Well, I agree with that. I didn't go, and I'm always like, man, I wish I would have went. So of
Man,
course
it
I
was
was
the
with
best
my
times.
Yeah,
Well,
I
it's
told
like
my
real
son, go
estate.
experience
Everything
it.
that you go to school for, you really don't use it all. It's more experience.
I think I will say this for me. I wanted to be a physical therapist.
Really?
Yes, my freshman year at Michigan State, my mom was like, "You need to go get an internship for summer, get a job. You need to see if you even like this, Sherrie."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so I did.
Yeah.
Now, in my mind, I was about to be a PT, like for the hockey team and the football
Oh, yeah,
players.
that's
That was
good.
not
That's a good
it.
gig.
That's
Let me
not
tell you,
bad.
that wasn't
Yeah,
it.
I know.
It was.
You don't
just-
get that lucky.
I mean, I can tell you some stories. About 3 weeks in, I called my mom like, "Mom, I quit. I can't do this. I do not like touching people I don't know. This is creeping me out." Immediately switched my major. I will say when I switched majors, things came very easy to me. But I also was just one of those people. I'm not like a good test taker. But I was a
Neither
very
am I.
good conceptual person, right? Fun fact, paid someone to take accounting one for me in college, but that was my business management skills, you know? Had to do it.
Hey, now
I
they
like
have
the way
Chat-
she described that.
Hey,
That
now
was
they
my
have
business-
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
so it's the
We
same
didn't
thing.
have that.
I
And I
know.
always say
that's
thank
what
God
I'm
we
saying.
did not have Instagram when I was at Michigan State.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
Well, we say
me.
that too, yeah. So we
Yes.
didn't come in the era of social media, so you don't
Thank
know.
God.
We've
They
got
don't
those
know
old
those
pictures you can
encyclopedias,
rip
yeah.
up.
God knew what he was doing with that. Like, let me just hold off on this
Yeah.
little generation right here.
The Dewey
'cause-
Decimal System.
So
Right.
So you went so you did go to school for it. You changed that major, and then you came in at 23. You weren't in Houston, right, at the
No,
time?
I was in Detroit. I'm
Okay.
from Detroit, born
Okay.
and raised.
So you have to let us know what happened to get you from point A to point B over here.
So it was a guy.
Okay.
Met him in Houston, or met him in Detroit on a blind date. Ended up being together 5 years total, but he was working with, organization there, got let go. And he was like, Sherrie, I need to go back to Houston. This is like where my investments are, whatnot. So I was like, all right, I'll come visit. Never had been to Houston in my life, y'all. This is 2014, 15. And, ended up meeting the owners of Twin Peaks Restaurants by chance when I was just actually helping volunteer planning a golf outing for the Oilers. And they were like, hey, I felt like I was in a weird interview. I'm like, why are they asking me all these questions? And then one of the brothers said, I think, how often are you here? And I was like, probably about a week or two a month. Because at that point, it's digital. I can do PR from kind of anywhere, write from anywhere. And they're like, how about you give us 10 days a month? And, I don't know how many years later, I still work with them.
Oh, that's amazing.
And do all of their marketing and went
That's amazing.
Started with them. They had about 5 in the Houston area. And now we have 12, 13 of their group. And then they also
that's a good way to start.
Yeah.
I know.
Right. And they also own Bread Zeppelin. So we handle that brand too.
I love Bread Zeppelin.
So good, right?
I love them.
Gotta go to lunch there.
Mm-hmm.
So they invested in that brand too. It's not owned by Twin Peaks, but just the group of brothers. It's 3 Italian brothers. that own it.
okay.
They're really good people. Right in Sugarland. So
I'm in Sugarland.
yeah, that's where their corporate office is.
I'm coming to see y'all.
Come on. I got you covered.
Yeah, Sherrie got me. Sherrie sent me. Okay, so then you started there, and then
I just kept meeting people.
But we just discussed this, and it's not just restaurants.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you're doing so much more. So tell us, like, all the other clients that you have and like you've worked with.
Yeah, so starting, my first client was an NFL player. In college, I worked with UCA and Nike, which is Universal Cheerleading Association, running their cheer camps across the Big Ten. In my mind, I was like, I can run a camp logistically for football. It doesn't mean I have to be a coach on the field, right? So I actually started volunteering just because I love sports. I've worked with over 50 athletes, from Justin Verlander to Jalen Rose to NFL, every single sport I've worked with, managing their brand and PR. So.
I work in sports, so
Yeah.
something.
Just
Football is my
football or-
heart. Football is my
okay.
heart. No,
So
I've worked
everything.
with every sport, but
Yeah.
football's usually my main one. So I
Mm-hmm.
still I actually have to go to Dallas this weekend for one of the Cowboys' weddings, and then I have an event with one of the Eagles players the same night. My team will be in Philly running one of their events too. So we are actually pretty heavy in the NFL and have been for a long time.
And you do other things too, not just sports and
Yes,
restaurants.
like we work with lawyers, we work with surgeons, we work with anyone that has a brand, and I think it's fun.
Yeah.
We do work with a lot of restaurants. It's kind of what we're known for. There was a restaurant that we helped launch and went bananas and whatever, right? But my team, I pride myself on doing such a good job of like really caring and making you your own. Because everyone says, oh, it's just another Houston restaurant, but it's not. So how can we
in
communicate
Houston,
that?
if you know Houston, we are picky people.
In a foodie
They, oh
town.
my
Gosh, it's so different.
They will make
little
or break
of everything.
you.
They will.
Yes.
And I'll tell y'all from working in other towns, in other cities, like we have a coffee shop in Fort Lauderdale. We have an event in Philly this coming weekend. And if you could think about this, let's say one of our athletes had an event and we were bringing in restaurants, I could probably get 20 in a snap. It was actually difficult to get like 10 out there. It's just different. So, I think that Houston's special in that way.
And you're very, you pick and choose who you want to work with, and you're very particular.
Kind of. I am. I think this. I think that, I know this. I know that if we don't vibe, it's probably not going to work. And the other thing I tell people is you're hiring me because you know I've done a good job and you must trust me. You have to trust me with your brand. Because I'm never going to do something that's detrimental, right?
Yeah.
But when you bring us on, we're not like the old school PR that's like, hey, send me what you got and we're going to send out a press release. We actually do, like this morning, Peaches. We're working with Peaches in Third Ward, and we were doing our planning calls and gave an idea to roll out a new menu for summer, and looking at things of how can we roll something out that generates a story.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, when you're thinking about where you're going to go for Sunday Fun Day or girls happy hour or date night, how do you think of those things? Is it the food?
You
Is
have
it the
to get
vibe?
creative, right? You
Right.
have to.
Is it the location?
Yes, exactly.
And so you have to really figure out who your client is. And I'll use Twin Peaks as an example. And I'll credit. I'm on the committee, their marketing committee too, and I love that brand because they are so good at branding. They have it down. And what they've always said is, who's for us is for us, and who's not is not.
Oh, I love that.
And we
My
are.
dad says
That's
that.
great.
Here.
Yeah.
Oh, see, in anything in life.
My dad says
He's
that
always,
too.
My dad's like, if in the middle of coaching, he'll be like, if this isn't for you. That's okay. There's the door.
okay.
It's all right. No hard
No
feelings.
hard feelings.
Absolutely.
And because it causes a problem in the long term.
I mean, I think it was 2016 at corporate, they brought in another marketing girl, and we did some changes to the brand. The sales tanked. When we bring them back of like who we are, Plaid Nation, #1 sports bar, coldest beer in town.
Yeah.
Tons of TVs.
Yes.
Right.
People identify with your brand. So as long as you own who you are, you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Because somebody that doesn't like sports isn't going to come anyways. Doesn't matter what the
Yeah.
girls are dressed
Exactly.
like. Doesn't matter if
Right.
you have cold beer. If they don't like sports, they're probably not coming to you.
Right.
You're not our market.
Yeah.
So, I think that that's important for anyone you work with and in anything you do, whether it's a surgeon, like you guys were talking about earlier, or a doctor, a lawyer, like, lawyers they specify in specific things, right?
Right.
And
Be
I love
known for
that. And I love that you're saying that you don't just whatever they have, let's just run with it. You give them that direction, which a lot of people don't
Try. They listen.
I mean, if they listen, right?
they listen,
but
yeah.
they can crash and burn if they don't sometimes, and they have to say,
You're right.
okay, we get it. We get it.
And I'm not saying I'm always right, right? But I do believe that being able to have like 2-3 brains sitting here is better than one.
For
So
sure.
I have a great team. I have people on my team that have been with me for over 10 years,
Yeah.
and they're experienced, and I trust them. So
Yeah.
that's important to me to build that culture and internally with who we work with. We have social media, we have photographers, we shoot every week, we shoot for media, we shoot for social. There's just things that we do that even a restaurant called me at like 9:00 on Saturday night, and they're like, "We need you." I was like, "It's 9 o'clock." I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
It was like a random number.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Who is this?"
I'm
and
off.
so I know, I'm like, I'm like with my mom and like sitting outside. I'm like, I can't talk right now, but I'm happy to talk Monday. But it is like and this particular concept is actually really cool, and I'm shocked that they're dead, but they don't have a marketing plan. So I would say I have 3 buckets. We do the marketing PR, we do the branding, we do events, no emotional events. Only business events I do. So if you're having a baby or a wedding, I'm not your girl. Don't come.
I was just gonna invite
Yeah.
you. No, I'm kidding.
I'll come, but I'm not planning it.
Got it.
Okay, yes.
Has there ever been like a store, like a restaurant or a business that you've helped them bounce back?
Yeah.
Well, give
Probably
us.
a
I know
lot.
all of them, but give us one that's most memorable for
I don't know if I
you.
can do that on here.
Don't have to say the name
Well,
of
how
it.
about this? Okay, so yes, we've worked with someone that had some bad press that was not his fault. In all reality, we did not work with him at the time. Went through a lot of just like some bad press, but it stemmed from like a landlord situation and whatnot. So when we started working together, we sat down and put a plan together. I will say the first few months, even in the articles we were able to generate, they would mention, "Oh, this happened, so and so." We were eventually able, even through proof and facts, able to like get those things removed.
And that's great. And that's a big deal to do that.
It is a big, and then sometimes the other thing is that social media now comes into play with some of the restaurants that are popular and celebrities go to. I don't even know. Oh, so the other day, I guess I could just say this because it was on social, but DDG posted that Social Junkie charged him $50 for a bottle of water.
Yeah, I
They're
saw
a
it.
client. And I talked to 2 TV stations yesterday, and they deaded the story because the fact of the matter is he bought 10 bottles of water, and they were $4, and he gave the girl an $8 tip, which is true. And I have the computer ring up. So when I was
Yeah.
able to show that to the TV
It's an
stations, they're like,
exaggerated post.
this
Yeah,
isn't a story
yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So I literally sent it to 2 reporters that called me, and then it deaded, and we're just going to
Yeah.
let it die out because it's not true. But, that is now a factor in PR that was not
Right.
8 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that you have
Social
to
media is
consider.
detrimental to a business.
Yeah, so I
it's
was like-
crazy.
in the morning, like first thing, social teams on the group chat, like, "Hey, do you guys see this?"
But
I'm
even
like,
Houstonians, will ride that wave
crazy.
and trend it out because or viral it out because you see that and you're thinking in your head, well, Houston is overpriced. Like, didn't they?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah,
some
for sure.
comments and I was like, "Please tell me this isn't true, y'all." And then they replied and they sent me the screenshot. They're like, "Sherrie, it was 10 bottles of water." I'm like, "Oh,
course it
geez,
was,
$40 for 10
yes.
bottles of water
Yeah.
is fairly normal
Yeah.
anywhere you go, and especially."
I mean, and some of these celebrities too, they think they shouldn't be charged at all. A lot
Oh,
of times.
that's true. And they have the most money. Like if
Yes.
we go, we
Yeah.
have to
I
pay. You know what
know,
I'm
of
saying?
course.
But the thing is that what happens with some of those people is they don't know who they are. Like they're the younger now, the social media people,
true.
and it's not like Houston's so different. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we know our rappers.
Of course.
We know, like, if
maybe
someone's
someone from out of town.
Yes.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
And the
probably
younger
recognize
generation.
them.
And I'm
No.
talking about the younger
Yeah. You're
right.
generation because there's so many celebrities in the younger generation that are streamers, that are
Right.
that your average person doesn't know.
Have you ever watched a stream, y'all? Do you guys
Yes,
watch that?
my son
Yes.
is
Yeah.
yes,
Well, I
yes.
watch my kids watch it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Yeah. So
Yes.
it's like, well, my niece is only 4. I don't have children yet. So, but it's like they're locked in.
They are.
We just talked
was-
about that.
A ton of
I
money.
We
cannot.
listen,
I
we
cannot
just
be
talked
there that
about
long,
that.
but they do.
You guys were talking about the surgeon and the stream. I was like, oh gosh, what could you imagine? People would probably end up streaming surgeries.
Oh,
and
that
stuff,
would
so-
I would watch.
Well, this is
I would not.
that-
I would
so
pass out.
I would.
My mother could watch that.
Yeah,
She's
I
like,
could
"Dude,
watch
that's
that.
weird. No.
But this is what we're talking about. So we've talked about this already on 2 shows now, and it just comes up because my son is deadlocked on his phone 24/7.
Really?
And I'm like, is that all you do is watch streaming? He's like, yeah, I don't watch TV. This is what
Yeah,
I do.
exactly.
And then
They
I
don't.
said, so of course I was like, oh my God, at least watch stream it on TV because the little bitty phone is going to affect your eyesight later. And then I thought to myself right away, I was like, I gotta nip this shit in the bud because not that, but my life, because I'm coming into this world where it's how do you market yourself? How do you make that money? How do you
Right.
grasp these younger kids that are now going to be your clients one day that are going to be,
Yeah. How old's your son?
well, he's 25. He's about to graduate college.
Oh, well, that's great, though.
But they,
Listen-
but they don't mature as,
They don't.
no.
Well, we all know.
Yeah.
Well,
No offense,
I mean,
guys.
go
Some
watch
of my
it.
friends' daughters.
Men do not mature as fast as
But
we
the
do.
thing is, they'll watch anything. Like one of the girls that soon she'll be on, she's going on a trip, and she said, "Yeah, I did a YouTube about packing." I was like, "Well, how
That
many
gets
people were
views.
watching that?" Yes, she said, "Well, I had like over 100 people just watching me at that moment, and then it started growing and growing." And I was
Yeah.
like, "She's like, I don't even know how many were on there."
So the
Incredible.
one thing that I find interesting that you just said, and actually we just had a call with this on my team because we're really have started locking in on an influencer department because PR has now changed and
Oh,
the
yeah.
scope of things have changed. Even TV, I have ways to monitor, and I will say that Houston is a top 5 market in the country. I think people need to remember that. The way that is rated is by how many viewers are tuned in to that TV station at that time.
Oh,
okay?
we're top on the
So-
social media deck.
So I'm talking just TV.
Oh, TV,
Fox,
okay.
ABC,
Yeah.
the
Got you.
mainstreams. But social media is now a play in that. So one of the girls on our team that is building out our influencer department, it's we were just talking about healthcare, health. Makeup, beauty, packing, so if that's your platform and people just love your lifestyle, that's what grows it. I personally think, and I'm always going to stick by this, organic stories and organic, whether it's on your social or in a TV station or writing, because let me tell you, Culture Map, Chronicle, they get the views.
Yeah.
It works. And it works when you're not doing it in a cheesy way. And that's another thing I think is so important when you're delivering your brand message is
You're
share your
relatable.
story. Yeah, and share your story and talk about who you are because that's what you're selling, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it's your food or you.
Anything, any business,
Right.
because now that you see what's trending is like behind the scenes of a business.
Yeah.
Just the everyday, like this is what they really do. This is their dynamic. And people
Yeah.
love that. They love it because I'm sitting at a boring desk office and I wish my office could be like that. It's so
Come on
many
over.
different, like it's so many different things that your people just look at something and is like just relatable or just wants
Yeah.
to be there or wants
Yeah.
to be in that environment and it sells. And this is where we're at. And we have to adapt and move because if we don't, we are going to be in the dust trying to, we're drowning, trying to swim our way out.
And it's great you're developing. You just said an influencer
Department.
department.
Yes, we are because
I'd love
and
to
it's
talk
Which
to you
I've
about
never
that.
heard of something like that in a PR department, but it's something you got to do
No,
now.
actually, what you're doing is very smart.
Yes.
Because Houston is very late to that. And
Yeah,
I'm in
LA
that
has it,
industry,
New York.
and we don't get a lot of things that the other big cities get, and New York, California, and stuff like that. And it's time.
Yeah.
we've got a lot of heavy hitters in this
I'm
city.
going to bring Brittany in. She's going to be heading that up. She's actually someone that her and I have shared NFL clients before, that she manages and creates the programs that we work with these guys. So she and I have put our heads together. We've been working on it for a little bit. So that's what we were talking about earlier, is like she's taking that over, and not just local though. Like what national brands? If we'll have two aspects of it. One is our restaurants, clients, brands that want to say, hey, I want to get with the girls.
Right.
Like, how can I be a part of this podcast? And stuff. And then also is, if you
Sherry's
work with
coming
us-
on board with us.
Yes, we're here. We're going to talk about
Yes.
that after.
Yes.
But the other is like, hey, what do you want? How can we reach out to you and help manage
Exactly.
you? Because we've managed a couple influencers now, but I think it's just time to evolve with that. And you have to evolve with times in order to stay relevant, right? It doesn't matter. You can kick and scream not wanting to change, but we have to evolve no matter what we want to do. And we've seen it work with like Super Bowl. We do it, things like that.
I think you could do it, and I think it'd be great because you've already been in the industry, and I think it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Why not you?
And you're doing.
And I've been saying this for a long time because the influencers need it really bad out here because they're going to different cities.
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah, and they're
being
getting
managed
paid,
by-
and I think that there's a happy medium. If you want to touch on that, I think there's a happy medium with what influencers. I understand the compensation, but I think that there's not enough creativity in it. One of our NFL clients has a coffee line, and we're actually doing a co-brand with two other NFL players right now, both Super Bowl champs, Walter Payton Man of the Year. We're actually doing co-branded coffee bags so that those sales go to their charities, but then I'm also able to get those coffee bags into other grocery stores because I have his coffee in over 100 grocery stores right now. And so it's just doing those
Speaking
kind
my
of things.
language.
Yeah. Oh, you like coffee?
No, I just like money.
Oh, okay. I was like, well, let me send you some.
She was.
Okay.
I like
she,
coffee, though,
she
too.
heard
Okay, I'm gonna
bag.
give you some coffee.
She
Yeah,
heard
her
bag.
bag.
And she's
She
like,
heard coffee. She was like,
I was
she
like-
heard bag.
we
That's
could do
it.
that coffee, but we
Sign
could
me up
make
now. Sign me.
Right.
a collab bag
Yes.
with your
Yeah.
logo,
Yes.
That'd
and
be
then
great, yeah.
it you do a split. It's just collaborating with people in the right way. And I also
And
look
also
for things that are
knowing.
one hit wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And having the potential or knowing somebody that's going to open that door for you.
Yeah.
Because that's really important.
It matters.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is important that people understand about PR, and whether it's an influencer campaign or PR campaign or whatever it is, you have to understand it takes time.
Yes.
And it takes consistency.
And any advertising, marketing, like
Anything. It's not a switch. It's not a light switch, right? So I always tell people I don't do anything under a project under 6 months. It's not worth your money, and I'll tell you to keep it.
or your time.
Yeah. Or my
Yeah.
time.
That's
Because you're
right.
not gonna be
That's what I
happy.
mean. Your time.
You're not gonna
Yeah.
be happy. Like there's just no way to do it. And I've had people, please, Sherry, do this for me. And you know what kicks me in the ass every time is when I do it and I know I
You
shouldn't
You
have done
shouldn't
it.
have, yeah.
And I was like, dang.
And then they
I
let
shouldn't
you
have done
go like 3 months into it, and they bring someone else on. Then they start seeing the results from what you
were
planted.
doing.
Like it's just like that's if you go to any radio, TV, they're not going to let you come in for under 6 months.
it.
Yeah.
No.
They're not gonna do
We
it.
do buys for years at a time. And that's actually smart. Like people need to think about their brand. On the call we had this morning, I was like, so what's your 4th of July menu? And in July 15th, we need to roll out back to school. That's what needs to happen to be effective in your campaigns. In the media world, August, September is holidays now. If you want to get a
yeah.
gift guide, you better have your product ready to
Right.
send out. Just for anybody, if you're listening, you better send
Little
those
gem.
products out by September. If you want a gift guide, if you want to be included, and there's never a guarantee unless you're paying. So you need to have a budget for that for holiday. For your gift guides to inclusion. If you have a product, a physical product, you need to make sure you're planning ahead. You're making your list. You're starting to outreach. Your team is reaching out August. Get the addresses.
Listen,
and
she's
mail it
giving a
out.
lot of good
I
free
know. I'm like, note to self.
free tips here.
You have because that's
Yeah.
the only way, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's true.
you send something out in November, they're like, well, Christmas.
You're
is
too
late.
late.
I know.
You're too
It
late.
How are we
is
going
too
to
late,
Black
yeah.
Friday sales, anything.
Yeah,
It's not working.
yeah.
Cyber Monday.
Well, all these gems, everything. Like I said, we only talked to you for a little bit, and we were like, you have to come on the show because,
I know, I was so excited to come.
I love to bring the people that are usually behind the scenes in front.
And this
right
is very
front
much
to the
out of my
camera.
comfort, by
yeah.
the way. Very
But
much.
you
Yeah.
didn't know.
Because I see on Instagram,
I think you
was
talked to your
like, where's
PR
more
person.
of you? I want more of you.
Hey, she's
you
like,
have a lot of your
I
clients.
know it's all them,
I
right?
know.
you don't
I'm
have a
just
speaking
like
problem at
you.
all. But you must have talked to your PR person because you're doing very well.
Thank you. You know what? I did that strategically on my personal
Really?
account is blocked.
Yeah.
But y'all can follow it. I'll tell you what it is after. But my Boost One marketing account. Okay, this is a pet peeve of mine, and it might make some people mad when I say this. I am not here to promote myself as a publicist. My job is to promote you. So if you go to my page and all you see is articles about me, how does that help you?
Right.
And I think people appreciate that,
Yeah.
especially our clients, because
Yeah.
if you go there and you're like, oh, I see like 7 articles about Sherrie, and I've had a lot of articles.
What
I
is she
never
doing
post
for her
them.
clients?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what are you doing for me though?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that that's important. I actually have clients if I don't have anyone that manages my social. It's just me. So. And I get behind, and they're like, "Why didn't you post me?" I'm like, Shh, "Sorry, I'm doing it." But you know what I mean. But I think, and the other funny part is, people are starting to figure out who I personally am now. But a lot of times, people will call me and be like, "Hi, sir," or they'll email like, "Hello, sir, can we hire you?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm Sherrie, and
Yes.
I'm not a sir, but I'm happy to set up a
Yeah,
call."
right.
I have an all woman team, not
Yeah.
by just not by
Just
like
worked out
that way.
it worked out that way, and I love them. It's awesome. We have a great team.
Well, I'll tell you this. You just said that about it's not about you. And one of the biggest things that organically that resonates on social media and influencers is not a page all about them.
Yeah.
Even though they may be talking about things they do, it's always something that can help you or some reason that's for the public. And I think when you follow anybody, nobody wants a, oh my God, hi, it's about me. And I woke up today and it's constantly me, and or this guy did this for me and da. You get tired of that.
100%.
Or somebody just this is my outfit
used
of the
to
day.
be that way, but it
like
changed.
we're kind of coming out of that era,
Yeah.
and now it's like, but who are you? Because
Yeah.
if you don't sell me in that,
And it's I think that the raw like realness of things actually deliver better. Mm-hmm. Like
I
know
agree.
sometimes like the
Yeah.
non-filter, like non-planned and hair wrapped up
Right.
type situation. Sometimes just
and you get
people
over
love
it. Like obviously everything is cringe at first, and you
Yeah.
feel weird, but after you just say, let me just post it. There's many times you want to delete it, but you get over it.
And
you
that's
move
the one
on,
that has the
and the most views, and you're like,
and
I can't get
everything.
rid of it.
I'm like, oh dang, I should do this more often.
It's forever out
And
there.
they were saying to pick the one that has the most views and repost
And
it.
keep
And you're
reposting
like,
it,
dang
you're
it,
like-
I gotta repost this one.
Like the worst one.
I know.
Yes. Well, we enjoyed having you. We'll definitely have to have you back on.
for
and I think we
sure.
need to work together.
I would love that.
Yeah,
yes.
we need to do
Yes.
something
Things.
together.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, we
like,
could be
take your
part of
show
that
on the road.
team.
Let's do
Oh.
Let's no. So that's our next gig. That,
Oh.
but I don't know if you know or saw our page, but we now are her media network.
Yes.
and so we have other podcasters and women coming under us, and
I
we're
need to
branching
talk
out.
to you guys.
So
Yeah.
we definitely would love to see what we could do.
That would be
And
amazing.
Yes.
You'll be back, right?
100%.
For sure.
Okay, guys. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Another
Bye,
episode.
y'all.
We'll see you next week.
Oh, I get to do
Cheers.
Cheers.
No, wait.
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What happened?